Starting on time, starting on time. Hey, 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 I think we're starting on time.
Right at 6 o'clock. Good morning, everybody. Feliz Navidad.
Feliz Navidad, everybody. And good morning to those watching in Australia.
Good morning.
We already got Kim Martin and Rachel Williams chiming in. Rachel likes Elf, which is the topic of our show today. No post-credits scene for Elf, ironically enough.
Wow.
For those of you paying really close attention, we did announce that we're going to do Mary Queen of Scots today, but I couldn't come up with a good enough background.
Oh. It wasn't that, it was lack of theaters.
No, yeah, that's the real reason. It was honestly only playing in 2 theaters in the greater LA area, and both in West Hollywood, which has no parking. So we're like, let's give the people a chance to actually watch this movie before we spoil it, you know? So we're going to probably cover it a little bit closer to Oscar time. But yeah, I'll come up with a background by then, hopefully.
Better than these boxers here.
Hey, these rule, man. You don't even know.
So why wasn't the movie available, Ronnie?
They're doing that slow rollout thing that they do for like prestige smaller movies. Like they want absolutely packed theaters, so they only do 2 of them, you know. I think like movies can lose money if they throw it in theaters and then don't sell any tickets or something.
Oh.
So doing it this way, the slow rollout, they're hoping to get more buzz, maybe.
Are those boxers, Rachel? Yes, they are boxers, Rachel.
Dang it, Rach. Kim, when she was a kid, she really liked Miracle on 47th Street.
No, 42nd Street.
Oh, my bad.
Okay, I don't remember that movie. I know it's a little girl, and I know Santa's in it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it as well. Like someone was comparing it to the Santa Claus because it's about like divorced parents and stuff.
Like, is it Matilda?
Matilda. Netflix is redoing Matilda, you know.
Oh no.
Yes.
Yes. Who got you those boxers, Ronnie?
My mom.
Oh, I hope you washed them.
Oh shoot. No, yeah, I don't wear them as often anymore. But yeah, they're squeaky clean.
Okay.
So yeah, we're discussing Elf this week and various other Christmas movies, trying to get down to what makes a good Christmas movie. You know, and like I believe that the best Christmas movies you can watch year round.
Yes.
You know,
they're classics.
Yeah. Elf is definitely up there. You mentioned a good one earlier before the show.
I was saying Bad Santa.
Oh, Bad Santa. That's really, yeah.
That's what I was telling you, that it's not really my favorite Christmas movie. It's almost one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, well, it's good. Like if it wasn't for the Christmas trappings, it would just be a heist movie. You know? Yes. Or like a scam movie, you know, just a crime thriller almost.
Is it? I think it's more of a comedy. Yeah.
Yeah, comedic crime movie. Yeah. Rachel's throwing out there Tim Allen as the Santa Claus. That one you can't really watch year round. Like it's good to watch around Christmas time, but I can't watch it year round.
I think I've seen it. I can't really remember it.
So Tim Allen accidentally kills Santa Claus and then is cursed to become Santa Claus.
That's right.
Yeah.
I have seen it. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, it's kind of interesting because it's like parents have divorced and like his son hates hanging out with his dad. Like he burns the food and they have to go to Denny's.
Oh my God.
I've been to Denny's with all the sad fathers. It's a real thing that happens on Christmas Eve and Christmas.
I think I've been there on Thanksgiving. It's also full on Thanksgiving.
I think I've done that too. Gwen Williams is saying my favorite movie is It's a Wonderful Life, and I love Elf. I have to watch both each year. Fun fact about It's a Wonderful Life, it was not originally a Christmas movie.
What's It's a Wonderful Life?
About this guy named George Bailey. He spends his whole life in this small town, even though he tries his whole life to try to get out. And like he gets a wife and kids. And he works at this little building in Lone, and something happens to where he wants to commit suicide. And so the angels interfere on Christmas night so that he doesn't kill himself, and shows him, that he actually had a wonderful life.
The 3 ghosts show up?
No, just one angel named Clarence.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a really good movie. Me and you should watch that.
Okay.
We should have a viewing party. But it's funny though, because it's only the very last half of the movie that's set around Christmas, and they released it during the summer and it didn't do well. It wasn't until NBC started showing it each year around Christmas that it became known as a staple of Christmas.
Oh.
Just like how Titanic was an action movie, intended to be an action movie, but then Celine Dion made that song and they're like, oh, let's brand it as a love story. Seriously.
Really?
Yeah.
Green Book was also a Christmas movie.
Yes, it was a backdoor Christmas movie. The very tail end Christmas movie.
Yeah.
And those are the, good Christmas movies. The ones where, it's a Christmas movie, but it's not, Die Hard, everybody throws out Die Hard as the best Christmas movie, even though it's clearly an action movie, just happens to be around Christmas,
The 4th one?
No.
How many Die Hard movies are there?
I think there's 5.
I think there's 4.
I think there's 5.
Okay.
There's Die Hard 2, which is at the airport, and then they team him up with Nick Fury, Samuel L. Jackson, and then Live Free or Die Hard, and then the 5th one that's in Russia that I never saw.
I saw Live Free and Die Hard, where he's
right,
with a semi-automatic.
See, yeah, they try to make that one the 4th of July. They're trying to set it always on a holiday because they like how the first 2 were part of Christmas.
So yeah, what's my favorite scene in Elf? I hadn't seen it in a while, Ronnie.
Yeah, and I made you watch it for the show.
And then I watched it again, and I was like, I'm not gonna laugh at this whole movie. It's gonna suck. And then I was watching it and I heard myself laughing, and I was like, I guess.
Which parts?
One where he's in the bathroom with the girl, and then he runs away and he hits himself right on the locker. And he's like, I'm like, what a klutz.
Don't look at me.
He runs right into the locker.
That is a good one.
And then the mailroom, I started cracking up where he's dancing in the mailroom. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, his dad describes it with shiny bins, and he's like, is this the right mailroom? It's not very shiny. They keep bringing up how it's supposed to be shiny. Even in the kid's book, that he wrote at the end, it's a shiny mailroom.
Yeah. And then the funniest one was where the newscaster's she's like, we've spotted somebody dressed as an elf, and then he's walking it's like an idiot.
Well, it's also a Bigfoot.
Bigfoot, yeah. I was cracking up.
Oh, that's really good. Oh, what's my... It's gotta be when the fake Santa comes to the department store. It's
you're a liar.
that whole sequence though, he goes into Gimbals and he's like, oh, this is actually where I fit in. Right. He thinks, and then he knows to be wary of security guards, and he, gets it ready for Santa. Yeah. Because that's his natural thing. And then when he comes, he's like, you're not Santa.
You're not Santa.
You smell like meat and cheese.
You're an imposter.
You sit on a throne of lies.
Yeah, that had me cracking up too. It was pretty entertaining, yes.
Yeah, and Mom's right. If you want to cheer up, watch Elf. Funny little story, little side here, folks. I wanted to see it 2 days ago on Friday because I was feeling a little down, and I read the show times wrong. So I get to the theater, and it's not for another 2 hours. They threw Elf back in AMC theaters. So look for it if you have an AMC theater. And by happenstance, I know it's not playing at the Cedar Rapids, Iowa's AMC theater.
Oh, no.
But anyways, I get there. I looked at the wrong showtime, but Schindler's List was playing. So I go and watch Schindler's List on the big Dolby screen, which is just under IMAX, so huge screen. And I am just crying.
Oh, my God.
Just tears coming. And, like, I get out of the theater and, like, my eyes are all glassy and red because I've been crying so much. And I wander out, and there's Dave and Buster's across the way, and everybody's, like, entering for a Christmas party. And I'm, like, just so dazed and out of it. Like, so I totally recommend seeing Schindler's List. It is a masterpiece. It's hard. It's a hard subject matter, but it's well worth it, especially in the big screen. But please don't go alone because it's so weird
Oh my God.
to go, interact with normal people and yeah.
Oh no, Ronnie.
So back to favorite scenes. Rachel likes the pouring maple syrup on spaghetti.
That kind of grossed me out.
I think it'd be good.
No.
I would totally, if I was thinking, I would have totally done it for the show.
Wait a minute. Do you like pineapple on pizza?
Not really.
Oh. So then why would you like anything sweet like your spaghetti?
Well, noodles, I think, lends itself to sweet because the tomato sauce is sweet. See, that's where it might get weird, is how much tomato sauce you have on it. Because he it's like, I don't know for the big one he made for himself, but all the times like he made it for the stepmom, that it had sauce on it too. She can barely eat it. Like,
She's like, what is this? Put syrup on. Hey, when he put syrup in the coffee in the mailroom, what was it? It wasn't liquor, was it?
It was liquor.
It was liquor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the guy said, what brought you here? And he's like, work release. So he was in jail.
Yeah.
Like, it's like the bottom of the barrel working in a mailroom.
Look, yeah. I've worked before with one of those, the suction things.
Really?
Yeah, you put the canister and then it goes flying. You put money in it or something, or paper or whatever, and it goes.
Money?
Yeah.
Cool. Just like Logan Lucky.
What's Logan Lucky?
Logan Lucky is about a bunch of rednecks robbing a racetrack.
No.
It's really good. Check it out on Amazon Prime, I believe, right now.
Is it like Italian Job?
Yeah, except with idiots.
Oh, okay.
Like, it's so, like, starring Channing Tatum, that guy.
Yeah, that guy.
And Kylo Ren from Star Wars, and the new James Bond guy. Since I don't know any names.
Oh my God.
Help me out in the comments.
The actors' names.
Yeah, so yeah, Buddy Elf thought it was syrup, and he hated coffee, right? And coffee is disgusting, folks.
No.
Yes.
No.
You have to put half the ingredients of cake to make coffee taste good.
Coffee is delicious.
If you add enough milk and sugar,
You might as well put sugar. You just need like a nice creamer.
Yeah, but you might as well. Ugh. Everybody else in the world's crazy except me. And Jay Leno.
He doesn't like coffee?
He doesn't like coffee.
Oh my God, Jay Leno.
Jay Leno.
Go back to retirement.
You should watch Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee as well. You too, folks. That's on Netflix now. Used to be on Crackle.
Crackle?
Yeah, it's the free streaming service Sony put out.
Yeah, I have the app at home. I never watch it. Add syrup to the coffee. Actually, I've seen people add condensed milk.
Condensed milk?
Yeah.
Syrup might not be bad. You put honey, why not syrup?
So you grab the spoon and you put the condensed milk on it, and then you kind of like milk it like that. It's actually pretty good.
Okay, that's excellent. Can you do that with hot chocolate?
I don't know. We got to try it.
I don't like warm liquids, you know? Ooh, Kim's backing me up.
I agree with Ronnie on the coffee. You have to put 50 pounds of sugar and milk. Well, yeah, coffee by itself, like it's bitter. Absolutely. If you drink coffee plain, yes, it has no taste. But once you put a little creamer in it,
no,
just brilliant.
Like it's like vegetable soup, like terrible vegetable soup. It's so bitter. It's not worth it for the caffeine kick. I'm sorry. You could get just as much caffeine from your sodas. Like, I know sugar's bad for you, but Buddy the Elf seemed to be okay with it.
Oh my god.
And Kim also agrees, and Gwen also agrees that Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee is awesome. You should, it's something fun to just throw on, because it's interesting figuring out stand-up comedy. Like, that's what Seinfeld's trying to explore. It's like, what makes these comedians tick. Like, when you find out that, Steve Martin just walked away from his stand-up career. Like, yes, he had the movies going, but he's like, I'm not doing stand-up again. Like, he was at the top of his game, and he's like, I'm done.
Why? Why did he walk out?
Like, Seinfeld doesn't get it, and, like, I still don't get it. Like, I watched the episode a couple times, and I still don't quite get why Steve Martin walked away. Probably mostly because he was busy doing movies, but he just didn't feel it anymore, I think. I don't know.
You want to do stand-up, Ronnie?
I've done stand-up.
I don't think I've never done stand-up.
Gwen says we should try.
Okay.
We could be a buddy team.
Okay. We're going right.
There aren't many duos doing stand-up. Like there's like comedic, like the people who do songs together, like Garfunkel and Oates is a female duo that does silly songs.
We'll be on America's Got Talent.
And I don't believe Will Ferrell has ever done Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee. I bet you he'll be on there eventually, though.
Gwen says he is on the show.
When?
Well, we're going to have to look into that a little later.
Gwen, could you give me a highlight from that episode? Because I have no memory of Will Ferrell being on that show.
We'll watch it.
Yeah. We'll do a live stream on the green screen.
Yeah, we need to. Yeah.
But yeah. Another thing that Elf has going for are the quotes. Like, we were throwing out quotes before, but there are some epic quotes. Like, Buddy the Elf, what's your favorite color?
Buddy Elf.
Buddy the Elf, what's your favorite color?
Oh, when he picks up the phone from the boss?
Yeah. And his dad's like, what the hell?
What the hell are you doing? The dad was too patient. I would have lost my cool a long time ago.
But when he blows up is perfectly understandable. Like, that's what I watched for in this one. The Peter Dinklage scene where he's like the writer who's going to save his dad's butt by writing him, giving him a pitch for a new children's book. Oh, and I also love how completely humorless the children's publishing world is in this movie. Like, they are all grumps and all about money and have no humor whatsoever.
Yeah.
But yeah, Peter Dinklage, if you're just an outside observer, and like the secretary should have been shocked and appalled by Buddy just completely insulting Peter Dinklage, Like, he keeps calling him Elf. He's like,
are you an elf? I didn't know you had elves.
Did you ride a reindeer to get down here? He's a very angry elf.
Call me Elf one more time.
You feeling strong, my friend? And then he kicks his butt, which is great. But yeah, I like also that it's Kyle Gass and Andy Richter that play the two on-staff writers for the children's book companies. Kyle Gass is the other half of Tenacious D with Jack Black. And he doesn't do many film roles other than Tenacious D movies. And then he was like the gym coach in School of Rock. And I'm like, every time I see Kyle Gass in a movie, I'm like, ah!
Kim says yes, he's on the show.
Oh, really?
The toilet is enormous. Bye, buddy. I hope you find your dad.
Bye, buddy. I hope you find your dad. I love how the North Pole's claymation.
Yeah.
The North Pole in this one, I swear, is the best North Pole in any Christmas movie. I'll fight you on that one. But yeah, I love it that he looks over at the other stall and he's like, "Have you seen these? This toilet is ginormous."
He's like looking right down.
Right. So someone's obviously taking a dump and he's looking at him.
What is he doing?
Like, I love the layers of comedy there.
He's like, "How much did you sleep?" That's something I was wondering. He said he only slept 40 minutes.
I slept a whole 40 minutes. I had time to... I think it's because of the sugar. I think the sugar gives him a little bit of superpowers. What do you think of that theory?
I don't know.
Like the way he can move his arm and then pack snow quick.
Well, there's some side of fiction, like not fiction, like fantasy to it.
Right.
Because obviously the sled flows and everything.
Well, yeah, but that's Christmas spirit. That makes sense in, like, you know, the Christmas canon, but why would Will Ferrell have elf abilities just being raised by elves?
Maybe he mutated or adapted.
Well, he seems absolutely fine surviving the Arctic by himself.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it when he jumps on the piece of ice, and then when he gets off, it's only this big, and he's like losing his balance. And then he makes it to the candy cane forest.
Yeah.
You never see the sea of swirly twirly gumdrops though.
No.
Like
He's always talking about it.
Yeah.
He never sleeps. Do elves never sleep?
I think it's the sugar. Will Ferrell actually said while filming this that he had trouble sleeping. He got insomnia from all the sugar he was eating on set.
Oh.
Because, you know, he drank a lot of that soda.
I think when he chugged the whole Coke bottle.
Yeah.
He actually probably did chug the whole thing.
I could. And Rachel's like, "I'm singing. I'm in a store and I'm singing. I'm in a store and I'm singing." There's no singing in the North Pole. Yes, there is. No, there isn't. Yes, there is. We sing all the time, especially when making toys.
Oh my god.
Like, and I also watched it this time too, watching Zooey Deschanel's character Jovi. And I'm wondering, what does she see? You know, this guy who thinks he's an elf, and I think at first she thinks he's just messing with everybody. You know?
Yeah, he's trolling. Yeah.
You know, it's like people are kind of pissed about this when she's talking about the decorations. You know, and yeah. But then she's like, "Oh, this guy's actually someone special, you know. He's just has like childlike wonder, you know. Christmas is not a drudgery thing. It is something to be celebrated, you know." But you have to admit, being like in an elf costume in a toy store must really suck around Christmas.
At minimum wage, yeah.
Yeah. Or like your movie Bad Santa, being a mall Santa must be not fun.
He's like, "Get the heck out of here, kid."
Oh.
You know something we haven't talked about? I thought it was really good. Was the Four Horsemen?
Oh,
because I didn't catch that. I thought it was just like the cops were coming, like the police, right? And then I saw it was four horse. I'm like, oh, okay, so it is the Four Horsemen. Like,
yeah, the Central Park Rangers. Like, I've noticed a trend in Christmas movies that they often throw something completely weird into the movie just to keep like it going. And this one needed, you know, something to chase them, you know?
yeah,
Like
a villain.
What does it matter? You know, they got to raise the stakes. What does it matter when Buddy fixes the engine on the sleigh? You know, like, no, they got to go now. You know?
Yeah.
Like, at the end, it's actually more important that the side characters, like the Buddy the Elf and Santa stuff is like taking a backseat. It's more important about, you know, Jovi and Michael and his dad, you know?
Yeah. Well, I was surprised about the horsemen. I was like,
Right. And they keep having to mention why they're there. You know, it's like the Simon and Garfunkel tactics. They're still under investigation. And they
kept them on the naughty list.
Exactly.
It says the reindeers were real. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Good pull, Rach. And Santa Claus too. Oh, Rachel's just saying that reindeer actually exist in the world.
Oh.
I think. Like, yeah, there's reindeer that they're like in Canada or something, or
They're
special ranches,
Or the North Pole.
Up there.
Okay.
And Gwen says Santa Claus is real too.
Yes.
Good to know.
He's out there at the Grove.
The paparazzi have been trying to nail me for years. I'll be lost.
You ate reindeers? Reindeer soup.
It was reindeer soup.
Oh my God.
Rachel, you are the Krampus of Christmas. Ooh, that's what I want for Christmas, is the digital version of Krampus, the Christmas horror movie.
Is that a new one coming out?
No, it came out like 2 years ago and like did very little business, but it's really good.
I haven't seen it.
Like it plays off of all these different Christmas tropes. Like instead of a Christmas wish, it's a Christmas curse. And it also plays a lot off of like National Lampoon's Holiday Vacation, just like having the annoying in-laws in your house, and you have very fundamental differences, you know? Like one's like very white collar, one's very blue collar, you know, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And they have to work together to repel, you know, this, you know, basically monster.
Oh, no. I haven't seen it or heard of it.
It's really good.
What's at the South Pole, Ronnie? Antarctica?
He must be a South Pole elf. What's at the South Pole? The other water tribe.
The Dark Santa.
That could be where Krampus is from. Not much at the South Pole. Why is that? Why isn't there... I haven't seen Fred Claus, but I don't think it involves the South Pole.
There's military bases down there.
Yeah.
I've actually met one person who actually told me he's been to the North Pole. And he told me, he's like, I wouldn't wish that upon anybody.
Yeah. Trekking up there is not great.
Wow.
Although pretty soon it'll be all melted and you can just, you know, take a cruise up there probably.
Oh. Because of global warming?
Yep. Turns out it's a thing.
Oh.
The more you know.
That's from a commercial, I think. Okay. So what other movies? Bad Santa?
Yeah, so let's break out any other movies, unless you have any last elf thoughts. I have a few.
What are your last elf thoughts?
I'm here with my dad, and he wants me singing a song. But I'm here now, Daddy. Guess what? I love you. I love you. I love you.
That was a song?
Yeah, not exactly, but I think that's so funny how far he got into the Empire State Building. Oh, and I love like he presses all the lights on the Empire State Building, and the guy in the elevator's like,
He was cool about it.
He was cool, but you could.
I would have slapped him. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But it's kind of amazing. Who's that director? The same guy who did Iron Man and Iron Man 2 did Elf. Farrell, something.
Rachel says Frosty the Snowman.
Frosty Snowman's really good. Horror movie. I'm kidding, no. But yeah, the original Frosty Snowman's really good because it's like thumpity thump thump, and it's just like taking you through the song with little breaks in between to explain. And then it's like, oh no, Frosty's gonna melt, and then Santa Claus helps him out, you know? Because Santa Claus can do that, you know?
He's got magic.
Yeah. But that's what that's another thing that's weird. It's like each one of these little Christmas tales or songs adds a little bit to the Santa Claus mythos, you know? Like Coca-Cola made Santa Claus fat. Like he wasn't depicted as fat until Coca-Cola was advertising Fat Santa.
Oh my God.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
How did Santa look before? Was he skinny?
I don't know. Like
we need an old picture of Santa.
Yeah.
The before picture of Santa.
Yeah. But yeah, like it comes from like German lore, like Broomstickle, you know, the Dwight Schrute version of Christmas, you know.
So that means to advertise, all we have to do is alternate mascots of a holiday. So we take the Easter egg bunny.
Ooh, let's add sunglasses. Oh wait, that's the Energizer Bunny.
We can make them red or something.
Right, we'll make the Easter Bunny like green. Well, I think I've never seen it, but I hear it's really good. Something of the Guardians, Rise of the Guardians, where it's all the holiday people getting together. Jack Frost, Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny, voiced by Hugh Jackman, the Sandman, and I think probably someone else.
The guy with the claws?
Wolverine? Yeah, Hugh Jackman. Did we talk about Hugh Jackman last week?
Yeah. Well, you haven't brought up the zombies yet. The movie.
What, Shaun of the Dead?
Oh, there it goes.
By the way, Shaun of the Dead is on Netflix right now.
Oh.
And I think it's a good thing to watch around the Christmas times.
It's a Christmas movie?
Yes. Somehow. Some way.
So anyways.
Oh, Wraith said Frosty Snowman was sung by Burl Ives. And he wonders if he's still alive.
Who's that?
All through the village. Like the guy who actually sang, you know. But yeah, and I think Karloff did The Grinch Who Stole Christmas.
The new one?
No, the old one. The 30-minute one.
No, I don't know.
You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. You're the king of hateful thoughts.
I always mix up the Grinch with the Cat in the Hat.
How?
I don't know.
I'm not big on Cat in the Hat.
The Cat in the Hat.
I think they should team up and fight something.
Something like Freddy versus Jason.
Yes, exactly. That's what all these movies are going to do, I think. I think they did The Grinch again. They're going to do Cat in the Hat again as an animated thing. And then they're going to team up and fight the Lorax.
Oh my God, the Lorax.
I stand for the trees.
Well, are they both Dr. Seuss?
Yeah, they're all Seuss.
Oh, okay.
Charlie Brown Christmas. That might be the best Christmas special. You know, we're going through Christmas specials, I believe, right now, and Charlie Brown Christmas is really good. Like the piano music. Dun 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 dun.
I remember seeing some of Charlie Brown, but like I was too young to like appreciate it.
Yeah?
Yeah. I was kind of like, oh, this is boring. Like,
well, some of the animation's a little cheap. Like they're just repeating the same dance moves over and over again.
Yeah. So I would switch off to South Park or something.
I've only seen like one episode of South Park.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying I would switch to something else. Scrooge.
Yeah, there are so many A Christmas Carol movies. There's Muppets Christmas Carol, which is really good. But there's one version of A Christmas Carol that's the best. Where like he stands on his head, like when he's so filled with the Christmas spirit, he tries to stand on his head. That's, I think, the best version of Scrooge.
I haven't seen that.
It's really old, black and white. Like Scrooge looks like a madman.
Doesn't he always look?
A little bit. Oh, my favorite line from A Christmas Carol though is when he sees Jacob Marley, his old partner, and he's in the chains, and he says he's rationalizing what he's seeing. He's like, there's more a gravy than a ghost in you, saying that he's having indigestion. You know, it must have been a bit of sausage I had earlier. And he's like, there's more gravy than a ghost in you.
Oh, my God.
Oh, and Kim said Burl Ives was 85 when he died in 1995. So there you go, Raymond. But yeah, Christmas Carol. Any other good versions?
I don't know.
The Jim Carrey animated one was odd. I only remember, like, when it was the Ghost of Christmas Future, they shrunk him for some reason.
I know there's a Christmas movie about Adam Sandler.
Oh, 8 Crazy Nights.
Yes, I haven't seen that. Is
Yeah.
that good?
I have no idea. It has the third version of the Hanukkah song in it.
I don't know. I've always wanted to see it. I've never had time.
Me neither. I have no idea. I think it's post Waterboy. Anything after Waterboy, Adam Sandler's a little dicey.
He's like going downhill.
Yeah, like 51st Dates, I think might be his last good movie. Like solid entry.
Yeah.
And I bet you Gwen will agree with me.
Yes. I've never liked Adam Sandler.
Really?
Yeah.
Even from the onset.
I mean, he's got like a couple good movies where like he's okay.
Right.
But overall, I think I've seen a few movies where I don't laugh at his stuff.
How about Waterboy? Waterboy's my
Waterboy
favorite.
is so, you know.
I like Waterboy. Let me think. But yeah, it's funny, like, there's Christmas movies you don't even think of as Christmas movies. Like, Daddy's Home 2. Like, it was like the trend, I think, last year or 2 years ago. They take a comedy sequel and set it at Christmas time. So Daddy's Home, normal comedy. Daddy's Home 2, Christmas movie.
Yeah.
Bad Moms, original, normal movie. Bad Moms 2, terrible Christmas movie.
I don't.
Oh,
Bad Moms.
I do not recommend you see Bad Moms.
I recommend you see Daddy's Home too.
I really enjoyed it, and like I saw that one before I saw Daddy's Home, and after that I saw Daddy's Home, the original. I preferred Daddy's Home too.
Well, my eyes lit up when I saw Mel Gibson.
Yeah, Mel. I
think Mel
too.
Gibson is hilarious.
I think he should be getting more work than he is. They're remaking Mel Gibson movie.
Which one?
What Women Want.
Passion of the Christ. Oh
No, What Women Want, and it's What Men Want, and they got some lady who can read men's minds.
But if Mel Gibson gonna come in the movie?
I hope.
I hope so.
No,
too.
it would get like the state of like the media now. Everything's completely blown out of proportion. So some blogger is gonna, find, just focused on that. Like every blogger is looking for some angle, and that's what they're gonna key in on if Mel Gibson's in it. Like the Kevin Hart thing, they pulled up his old tweets, and now he's not hosting the Oscars anymore.
Oh no.
Yeah, they're really having the hardest time finding an Oscar host because they've apparently already gone to everybody who's obvious. I think Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly should tag team it, but that's just me. Oh yeah, Gwen says there's a Mickey Mouse version of A Christmas Carol. I like that one
I don't remember that one.
because it has Scrooge McDuck as Scrooge.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. Now I remember it.
Yeah, and yeah, I think that's great.
What were these Jolly Ranchers?
Oh, sugar, because Buddy likes sugar.
Okay.
Oh man, I want one now though, but I can't because microphones. And also color. We need more color in our show.
Okay.
And it's kind of Christmassy, like if they're lit up, random color. Oh, and how do you decorate your trees, guys? But yes, we'll talk about Home Alone. You mentioned you've seen Home Alone.
Well, that's a Christmas movie.
Yeah, But those movies you can watch year round too. You know, I don't think they're isolated to Christmas. You know, they're great Christmas movies. Don't get me wrong, but I think they can be watched year round.
I think I've seen Home Alone 1 maybe like 10 times.
Wow,
Yeah.
it's big for you.
But
I've seen Home Alone 2 a lot of times because we had it on VHS. Home Alone 1, not as much. But there's a joke in Home Alone 2 that I quote all the time. Kevin wants to get something out of the bathroom, and he's talking to his dad, and he's like, Uncle Frank's in there. And he's like, okay, we'll just go in there. And he's like, I can't. Uncle Frank says if I went in there and saw him naked, I grew up never feeling like a real man. and I just love that idea of like you'll grow up never feeling like a real man if you see Uncle Frank naked, you know. But yeah.
Poor Uncle Frank.
Yeah. And but yeah, there's a lot of good stuff in there. Like Merry Christmas, you filthy animal.
I quote that one most Christmas, yeah.
Yeah. The Turtle Doves. I nicknamed a friend Turtle Dove because of Home Alone 2.
Oh.
Call her Dove for short, but yeah. But yeah, and they're also heartfelt movies. If it was more realistic, those two bandits would be completely murdered by a psychopath.
Yeah.
But since it's a light movie, it's like, oh, Looney Tunes. Sure, you can throw bricks at people and they be fine. Or electrocute them so much that they become skeletons.
That's old.
Or light their head on fire and then they dip their head in gasoline that happens to be in the toilet. And explode and still be okay. Just like in like Christmas movies in general, if there's an explosion, it just turns your face black and ruins your clothes a little bit.
In real life, it would leave third-degree burns.
If not worse.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't silence my phone. But yeah, Bonnie's joining us. Bonnie, if you have any Christmas thoughts about Christmas movies, we're moving into Home Alone and Home Alone 2. But if there's any Christmas movies you'd like, please feel free to shout out.
I'm going to go with my favorite Christmas movie being Bad Santa.
Okay, yeah, we can talk about Bad Santa.
I'll stick to Bad Santa.
It's an interesting movie. Like, and it's as rough around the edges as it is. Like, it actually does become a Christmas movie at the end, you know. Like there's Christmas stuff all through. Like I love how he just tears apart the Advent calendar and just starts eating all the chocolate. I've actually done that before. But the chocolate in the Advent calendar I had was terrible.
Oh my God.
Like expired and chalky and terrible. So I think I'd rather get an aspirin out of one than...
Gwen says if you got the tape recorder, Ronnie.
Oh, shoot, yes. They got me a Talkboy recording thing. They can modulate your voice and do pranks on people. Like, totally from Home Alone, I thought I was going to do a bunch of pranks on people.
Did it just go in the attic after a while?
I think eventually we got the pen version of it.
Oh.
Which was like as big as like two pens together. Like, it was like really thick to fit the 90s technology into it. But yeah, you could record it and do it like fast, like a, you know, squeaky mouse, or real slow motion, and it'd be real funny, you know.
Auto tune.
Right. So that's like, I'm Kevin McAllister, the father. My son is blah, blah, blah. But yeah. Yeah. I think they were called Talk Boys.
Oh, yes. I remember those.
Bonnie says, Home Alone is traumatizing, leaving your child behind and going out of town.
Happens all the time.
In third world countries, maybe. Not the upper crust.
Yeah.
But it's funny. It's more believable in the first movie than the second movie because the power goes off, shuts off all the alarms. In the second movie, the dad just temporarily unplugs the thing, and there's only one alarm in the house full of people.
Well, there weren't that many cell phones back then, you know?
Right, but it's just so funny that one alarm, you know, that's what they're relying on. And then they get up and like, we did it again.
Oh, my.
You know, suspension of belief. Oh, I love the theory that the kid from Home Alone grew up to be Saw.
Who said this?
Like, that's a fan theory that he got a taste for doing traps and stuff, so then he just grows up to torture people when he gets cancer.
And teach them a lesson.
Yeah. Yeah. So Home Alone, very good. Bonnie appreciates my Christmas light Jolly Ranchers. They're wireless.
They're wireless.
Oh, but I liked putting weird stuff in Christmas trees. I would take apart Christmas ornaments. Like I took apart like one of those bulb ones, then put a bunch of fork tines into it, so it was like a spike ball. And that was like Christmas ornament on our tree.
That's your Christmas ornament?
Well, yeah, and like an old pocket watch, just threw it on the tree. You know, just like odd toys and ends. You know, like little nifty curios. That's what I like on a Christmas tree.
For reals.
Yeah. And I also like the train that goes around the bottom. We used, growing up in Iowa, my mom would take me to this place where they had a bunch of different Christmas trees with different themes. And like one of them was Monopoly. It was like a small tree and it was sitting on the Monopoly board and like all the cards and tokens would be on the tree.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I like that one.
The creativity, yeah.
Yeah, and my sister, I believe, has a little track. It has cars that are, you know, battery, and they just keep going around this little curvy track, you know, around her tree. Right. What'd you think of the upside down Christmas trees that were like all the Instagram fashion last year?
I don't remember that.
Yeah, I kept hearing it on the radio, but I never actually ran into it.
I never saw it, no.
I think it was just an Instagram thing.
No. I like ugly Christmas sweaters.
Yeah. I've never actually worn a ugly Christmas one to the party. Like, that's where this got doctored for, was an ugly Christmas party thing. But I didn't have time to go out and get an ugly sweater, so I wore that over my shorts, and I sewed bells onto a green shirt.
That's a good theme, ugly Christmas sweaters.
Yeah, it's a t-shirt. Oh, there's a new commercial where this middle-aged woman is talking to her elderly parents, and it's like video chat, and she's like, "Oh, you going to an ugly Christmas party?" And the parents look at each other like, "What's that?" They're just wearing ugly sweaters. Good commercial.
So next week, Ronnie, we have, what movie are we going to watch?
So we have a lot of choices. Once Upon a Deadpool, I think's the clear leader.
Okay, so we'll cross that out.
What?
And then Mortal Engines.
So Mortal Engines, for those you don't know, it's these post-apocalyptic world where giant cities are mechanized and robotic, and they consume other cities. And London is like the worst of them.
Okay, so we'll put that in the maybe pile.
Right. What about The Mule, starring that one guy and that other guy?
Hugh Jackman?
No. Clint Eastwood. He's an old dude, so they don't suspect that he'd be a drug smuggler, you know, because he's just so old.
That's good. I'm going to put a star on that.
Okay. And there's a little teeny tiny movie. I think it's called Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
We'll put that in the maybe pile.
I'll watch that one, and I think everybody else should watch that one too. I think Spider-Man could be a big deal. all joking aside, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is what we're doing. I don't care what you say. He keeps teasing me how much he hates Spider-Man and hates Aquaman and hates all these movies. And I'm like, it's not funny. Quit it.
I'll try to watch all 4.
All 4. Once Upon a Deadpool, I think, is just a recut version of Deadpool 2. So...
They all come out on the 12th, so...
Well, Once Upon a Deadpool is December 12th. The Mule Motor Engine Spider-Man Into Spider-Verse is December 14th, which is this Friday. But it's funny, they all have night before previews. So like 10 o'clock, you can watch Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse this Thursday. Once Upon a Deadpool, I saw Tuesday showings. So you can get a jump on these movies. I'm going to have to get a jump on these movies. You know.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Is that it for Christmas? Probably get another Christmas.
Well, I think it's funny. They've made Deadpool, Once Upon a Deadpool, a vaguely Christmas movie. Where, like, it's just not rated R. It's PG-13 version of Deadpool 2. And they're also framing it like a Princess Bride where he's telling the story to an adult Fred Savage who's in bed. And I hope they do really clunky edits of the movie, like do overdubbing of normal lines so it sounds really off instead of swearing, you know. I hope he calls someone gutter trash. Because like the old 90s X-Men movies, that's what, instead of cursing, that's what Wolverine would say. You filthy piece of gutter trash.
Okay, we got a big week ahead of us then.
Yeah, so they made, I think it's Deadpool 2 that they made PG-13. Once Upon a Deadpool, Gwen. But yeah, I think this has been a fun episode. I think we'll maybe try to squeeze in a Christmas episode every year. But I think we covered quite, at least the focus on Elf. Maybe, who knows what the anniversary will be next year. It could be the 30th anniversary of Home Alone, and focusing on that.
Gonna come back.
Yeah. So thanks for joining us, everybody. If you guys have any suggestions, like if you're like, hey, I just ran out and saw The Mule, you guys have to do it, we'll do it. Just get at us. We have all the social medias. And please follow us on subscribe, thumbs up, all that jazz.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody.
Feliz Navidad.
Feliz Navidad. Where's the button?